If you're looking for a trusted and reliable source of news and information, check out my friends over at patriotpost.us. A link for them is in the description box. They're currently offering a free subscription, so when you go over there and subscribe, tell them that ABL sent you. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Mario Lopez, who played AJ Slater from the TV show Saved by the Bell back in the 1990s, getting into a whole heap of trouble from the mainstream media and other places due to some comments he made on Candace Owens Prager U YouTube show. Now, before we even get into it, let's go ahead and roll the clip. In this clip, you'll see what he said in context. After we get done with the clip, I'll go into it in a little bit more depth, give you my 2 cents, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
So there are some weird trends, and one of the weirder ones for me, at least to try to process, is this new trend where celebrities are coming out, and I know Charlize Theron did this a few weeks ago and saying that their child is picking their gender. And this is strange to me just because they say, oh, I looked at my child was swimming in a bathtub and looked up and said, Mommy, I'm a boy. And that's weird to me because even though I'm not a parent, I nannied for 5 years of my life. And the things that come out of children's mouth, like they say whatever in the moment. You don't know what they've seen on TV, what got in their head.
Right.
And I've had children say they were mermaids. I've had children say they could fly and jump off of a staircase. And thank God I caught him, right? Because he thought he could be Superman. And so I'm trying to understand this new Hollywood mentality where they just think that their children now have the mental authority and
I am trying
clarity.
to understand it myself, and please don't lump me into that whole.
No. I see you're not doing that in your household.
No, I mean I'm kind of blown away too, and look, I'm never one to tell anyone how to parent their kids, obviously, and I think if you come from
Maybe
a place,
you should though, because you seem to be doing something right.
Well, thanks. And I always say if you come from a place of love, you really can't go wrong. But at the same time, my God, if you're 3 years old and you're saying you're feeling a certain way, or you think you're a boy or a girl, whatever the case may be. I just think it's dangerous as a parent to make that determination. Then, okay, well, then you're going to be a boy or a girl, whatever the case may be. And it's sort of alarming. And my gosh, I just think about the repercussions later on.
Right.
And
to me, I just see depression. And at the core of it, to me, seems like narcissism, like virtue signaling. Like you just want to say, I'm so tolerant and I'm so accepting that whatever my kid wants to do, they can do.
Yeah, I think as parents need to allow their kids to be kids, but at the same time, you got to be the adult in the in the situation. I worry about what goes on at Casa Lopez.
Right.
Focus on me and mine, and
what about
everybody else,
playdates?
God bless them.
What about playdates? You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I had a child and I know that in this household they're just confusing people and saying, "Hey, in this room you can pick your gender," I'd be like, maybe stay at Casa Lopez.
Yeah, they don't kick it with those kids.
Yeah, you know it's just a little bit confusing for children.
Yeah.
Okay, so you heard what he said. You saw what he said. Now, before we go any further, does what he said make sense? Yes or no? That's all I want to know. It doesn't matter if you're left, right, center, agnostic politically. Does what he said make sense? I think anybody that's thinking logically here that is not being blinded by their political ideology or their sexual orientation, whatever the case may be, you have to say that he's speaking logically. It ain't nothing but facts that he spoke, okay? If you're 3 years old, I think that's way too early to be trying to say you're transgender, okay? It's just not right. Because when you're 3 years old, you don't know much of anything. You can't count to 10 hardly. Can you write your own name? Can you write in cursive? Well, they can't do that anymore anyway. That's a different story. Can you do can you tie your shoes properly? Can you do most things that adults can do? Your brain is nowhere near being done developing. It's just beginning. You're just not really far from a totally blank slate. You're just not learning English properly. How are you going to go from just now learning how to talk, just going from goo goo gaga to all of a sudden, oh, well, I know in my heart and my soul, I have these deep esoteric feelings that now I'm not my birth gender, I'm a different gender, or I'm some kind of made up gender. Okay. I don't even know 12 words yet in my vocabulary, but I know I'm transgender. It does not make any sense at all. Okay. When you're 3 years old, you think you're all kind of things. When I was 3, see, I'm the kind of kid, I had a vivid imagination, as do most kids, because you're kids. That's what kids do. You have an imagination. You're more innocent. You're thinking about things that are just kind of out of this world because you're not grounded in what we know as reality yet. You understand? Your brain's not developed, so you're going to have an imagination. I thought it was a Ninja Turtle, Michelangelo to be exact. I got a picture floating around here somewhere. I might put it up one day of me in a whole outfit with no shoes or socks on, nunchucks, the mask. I thought I was him, okay, at probably about 4 or 5 years old. I thought I was a Power Ranger. When I was like 8 or 9, I thought I was Michael Jackson. I was spinning around in my class. I thought I was all kind of different things. I thought I was a Transformer. I thought I was a ninja. I thought I was a scientist. I had a microscope from Edu Science. I thought I was a scientist. It's like, okay, that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a 100 trillionaire scientist. This is what I thought I was. Okay. Some things are more realistic than others. Okay. You have a particular career aspiration, but trying to become a Ninja Turtle, trying to become a frog, like I thought I was for a moment, those things aren't realistic. Okay. And trying to become a different gender is a really deep thing that, first of all, is not really possible physically, honestly, but beyond that, it's a thing that can cause you irreparable damage going forward. I could put on a turtle costume, think I'm a turtle, and then that's it. Okay. I'm not going to disfigure myself or put drugs into myself to try and become a turtle. But the problem with people who are against what Mario Lopez said, they're giving their child puberty blockers. They are encouraging them to engage in more feminine behavior. This is a real thing. It's not some kind of right-wing conspiracy theory. It's not like it's not happening. I saw a story on RT, and I'll place that in the box below if I can find it, of a father in Texas. This is United States, not Canada or something. In Texas, he's going through a custody battle right now with his ex-wife, and she is forcing their son to behave as a girl, okay? Now, it gets kind of weird because when the son goes to his father's house, according to the father, and I believe him because what he said was really convincing, it makes sense too. When the son goes to his father's house, he is referred to as a boy, acts as a boy, and rejects all things feminine. He wants to play with trucks, get dirty, roll around like little boys do. Like my pastime as a boy, what I would do is go to the top of the stairs in the townhouse we lived in and roll down the stairs. That's what I did for fun because I was a boy and I like to bump around and get bruised up and get dirty. That's what boys do. Okay. But when the boy goes to his mom's house, he becomes more feminine and dresses more girly and stuff like that. And the dad said a thing that was really heartbreaking. He said that his son does not want to be a girl. He does not want to be associated with anything feminine at all. He probably thinks girls still got cooties because he's 5. But when he's around his mother, he dresses that way and behaves that way because he thinks that if he doesn't, his mother won't love him. Okay, that's what you're doing to children because they are so invested in what their parents think and what their parents say. You're like, your mom can say something to you when you're 5 years old, you start crying immediately because you're a child. So you can't push transgenderism or any kind of other weird ism onto these kids. It's just not right. People out there talking about, oh, this is bigoted. Bigoted how? You can't even choose the food you eat at 3 years old. How are you going to choose your gender? Things like this are how the so-called progressive movement moves forward, and I don't want to see it go any further. Let's stop it right now. So shout out to Mario Lopez, and shout out to Candace Owens for having them on the Prager U Show. And again, if you want to see that full thing, I'll link to it in the description box below. A quick update. After I recorded this video and is getting ready to put it out, I actually found out that Mario Lopez has apologized for what he said, talking about, oh, it was ignorant, insensitive, this, that, and the third. But when you apologize about things like this, all that it does is makes you more of a target for the leftist outrage mob. Or we got them where we want them. We can just make them do whatever we want to now. they put you on strings and have you like Geppetto dancing around doing whatever. Not a good move, but I understand. He's still acting. He still wants to be in Hollywood making money. And if you want to be in that club, cult, whatever you want to call it, you got to pretty much abide by their rules, unfortunately. And that's pretty much all I got. What say you? Do you think that Mario Lopez was correct to say what he said? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or do you think he's incorrect? Do you think Charlize Theron is doing a great thing by forcing her adopted, not even her own kid, her adopted child to become a different gender? When I say forcing, because you're dressing this child, it's not like the kid's picking out his own clothes. You know, there's not like, you know, the kid will wear whatever you tell the kid to wear. The kid will eat whatever you tell him to eat. If you're poisoning your child with food, if you're poisoning your child with the clothes that they're wearing, with the ideology pumping into their head, you are engaging in child abuse. You should be locked up. And I don't care what the situation is, whether it's gender, whether it's nutrition, whatever, you got to treat your kids right. That's just the long and short of it. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.